Today on Beardo and Weirdo, we're talking to Cody Jinks, the country artist who's about to go on tour with Five Finger Death Punch. And we talked to him about recovery, about how his first band he was ever in was actually a thrash band. And we love nerds.
You took my line. That's all I got.
Oh, how about?
Nope. You already did it, Craig. Roll the music. Anaheim NAMM show. Chris Cale from Five Finger Death Punch with my co-host, Mr. Craig Gass here.
From Howard Stern, Family Guy, King of Queens, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're coming to Anaheim NAMM weekend. We're going to be doing a show at the Grove of Anaheim. We're doing stand-up comedy, and then we're doing our live Beardo and Weirdo with some very special guests joining us live on stage in Anaheim.
And with all you music nerds out there coming to the NAMM show, this is the closest you're going to get to me, Chris Cale from Five Finger Death Punch, to ask me all the questions that have been burning in your mind for so long. So come out, hit NAMM.
It's true. He won't even let me get close to him. And I got a bunch of questions, like who's driving us?
Stupid questions, too.
Yeah, that's me. I've been to San Diego. Every time I perform in San Diego, I always know, I'm a stand-up comedian, Cody. My name's Craig Gass. And of course, you know Chris. And you guys are about to go on tour together. But every time I go to San Diego, I always point out how beautiful everybody is. And also, everyone there, the area of San Diego is so beautiful. It seems to have an effect on people. Everybody there is either super chill or they're on meth. Like there's no in between. There's just like this big chasm between like mellow and screaming at people to Jack in the Box.
Yeah, but that could be just your circle you're in. Out there in San Diego.
Yeah, it could be. But Five Finger Death Punch is going on tour. They just announced a massive, massive tour. And here we are. We're being joined by Cody Jinks, who's going to be doing the tour with Five Finger Death Punch. Cody, first question, obvious question. Are you scared? I am.
That's a great question. And I'm sure I'm going to be asked that question quite a bit. To be honest with you, I'm not. I'm more excited about it because anytime you have to go out there and earn an audience, it's a challenge and it's a lot of fun. There's going to be people that know who we are. There's going to be people that have heard of us. And then there's going to be people that are going, what are these guys doing here?
Of course.
So, I'm not scared. We've got a lot of, about half the band is metalheads and most of our crew is metalheads. And that's kind of our people anyway. So as long as you come in and you're real and authentic and respectful of them and where you're at and all of those types of things, then they will take you in.
And I found that like with that recurring theme of the band being metalheads, I think the Zach Brown band is the same way. A lot of metal musicians, and he found those guys and brought them in.
Cody, here he is, country artist, outlaw country artist, started a thrash band.
Damn right. Yep. He's like, wait a minute, I got to pay some bills.
When you as a young kid, was it the first band you started was a thrash band?
Yeah, it was. We were 17, like you are when you start a band, and we did it until we were 23. It was kind of a really hardcore thrash punk type of thing. The Big Four were big influences. And then I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. So Pantera was very, very large in my youth and my upbringing and my metal beginnings. And that's the stuff. I'm an old guy. I'm 45 now, so I was listening to the same stuff you guys were.
And this makes me wonder, whenever I would go to Dallas to do comedy shows at the Improv up there in Addison, I would end up getting roped into these rehearsal spaces for like thrash bands in the Dallas area. So I'm wondering if I did cocaine near Cody at some point. Like, I wonder. Go ahead.
Probably.
I think what Cody's trying to say is I might have done cocaine with Cody at some point.
That's where the speed metal comes from. Yeah, thrash.
Okay, I never. That one wasn't my drug, but there were other ones that I did enjoy. But those back in the day, man. Back when Diamond Vinny had the clubhouse.
Yeah,
and it was fun times around the DFW area because when all the metal bands would come through, they would end up partying with the Pantera guys if the Pantera guys weren't on the road. So it was a scene. It was a lot of fun, and I really, really cherished those days.
And I can attest too, when those guys weren't in Dallas, the bands that came through, Five Finger Death Punch, ended up at that club as well.
Oh yeah,
per invitation from Vinny back then. Yeah.
Well, there was this weird thing about these Dallas strip clubs that I would hear about, that everybody would say, "Dude, some of the best steaks you can get is at a strip club." And I'm like, "But have you been to the other steakhouse?"
Yeah.
Like, are you just saying that because you've only eaten steak at those
Exactly.
at those strip clubs? But how is it going from being in a I'm assuming an equal democratic process of being in a thrash band to being a solo artist? Do you enjoy that freedom of being able to go, well, this is what I want to do, man?
Yes and no, and that's a great question. I loved the process of working with the other guys in the thrash band, and I really thought that was going to be the forever band. And when that band broke up in '03, I really didn't even mean to start writing country songs. I had been, country. It's metal and country, or it's 1 and 1A. It's really not 1 and 2 or A and B. So I just was real sad that my metal band was over, and so I grabbed an acoustic and started writing really sad country songs. And,
wow.
That's kind of how that, and I didn't even know if I could sing country at that point. I'd grown up singing it and playing it and loving it, and grew up. Actually, I learned how to sing in the church choir. So, it's here we are now. I'm 45, and I'm one of the only guys that I know that didn't mean to be in a country band.
There you go.
Wow. And so as a kid growing up, it was country was an influence, and singing in the church was an influence. Where does thrash start to work its way, and the big four start to work its way in your life? Who was the stoner that introduced you to that?
His name was Jake.
We know Jake.
Yeah.
Jake and Ricardo.
There we go.
Jake and Ricardo in the 8th grade got me into, that's whenever I was introduced to 2 albums specifically, Black Sabbath, and Master of Puppets.
Very nice.
I know exactly what Jake and Ricardo were up to.
Absolutely. Yep. I love you, sweet leaf.
I was hooked instantly. I remember going to Ricardo's house, and Ricardo Bernal, if you're out there, buddy, with that first time I saw that Sabbath record, I just saw it and I was hooked.
I love it.
Really?
Now, do you have influences of metal in the country that you're doing the outlaw country?
Yeah, absolutely. We a lot of the chord progressions I write are probably, they would be probably punky.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of that influence. I have taken a lot of what I learned in the thrash world and incorporate that into our brand of music, which we're kind of just a hodgepodge of American music. We're in the country vein. I understand that, and that's cool. But yeah, man, we're it's a lot of fun. We're really the only people that we can headline a country festival and at least not look foolish at a rock festival.
I love it, especially with that look you got going on there. I can't wait till people are like, I'm walking by and they're like, "Hey, Cody, sign my tits."
Yeah.
There's
and
about,
vice versa.
including my band and crew, our guitar player Chris and I look a whole lot alike.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have about 4 or 5 of our crew members. It's going to be difficult. I'm letting you know right now.
Yeah.
Really?
We all look like this.
There we go.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
I love it. Is it when you're making decisions in your solo band, do you almost feel guilty for taking things that you want, like being used to sometimes getting resistance in a 4 or 5 piece? Like, is that something where you go?
Yeah. And I didn't answer your question a while ago to that degree, but to be in my own thing, I don't feel guilty so much as I feel like I'm really fair. And our bass player Josh we've been making music together for 20 years, and he's my band leader and my right hand man. So it's me and Josh really bounce. I talk to Josh and we figure out the best thing to do, because I try not to have the lead singer disease. And I truly love just being a guy in the band. Whenever we're up there jamming, I'm just the singer in that band. I understand that it's my name on there. I understand that you know, the writing is my own personal burden. But 100% of the time, I want to hear the first thing the guys go in and play. When we go in to record, I want to hear, because I'll send them all work tapes and be like, hey, man, I want to hear the first thing that you thought. And then I want to hear the second thing that you thought, because it's not going to be us. It's not going to be our sound. My sound is the sound my guys have created.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of them have been with me a long time. So that's a huge, huge part of what we do. I recognize that, and they see that I recognize that.
I love hearing the humility there too. Very indicative of the Southern upbringing, because I grew up in Kentucky and definitely have that down to earth kind of like, hey, let's just get to work and do this, and everybody comes along. And was also surrounded by a lot of bluegrass up in Kentucky. So it's only a matter of time till I'm writing country and open it up
hilarious.
for Cody.
So you said,
yeah.
So these guys, you said 20 years with your bass player. So were these guys all that you started relationships with right when the Thrash band ended, or before the Thrash band ended?
No, they were all after. Thrash band ended in 2003, and I started our bass player. Then I started playing country, and then our bass player Josh joined me in I think 2005. He could tell you 2005 or 2006, and the rest of the guys have come in along the way.
Were you singing in the Thrash band?
Yes.
What was it that happened in that moment that pushed you creatively to where country felt like a fit?
There again, I didn't mean to. It didn't.
It found you.
Yeah, it really did. And I've told people for years that people that like traditional, or what you might call outlaw country, and people that like metal music are very similar. They're very similar style of people, and really, when you start diving into styles, and I don't have to tell you, being from Kentucky, that those bluegrassers, man, those are the thrashers of country.
Absolutely.
So if you want to look foolish, go sit down with some kick-ass grassers.
Exactly. Sit next to a banjo player and tell me you play guitar.
It was really seamless. It was a natural fit for me, which a lot of people haven't understood that. And I've been asked that question more in my life than anything.
Really?
How did you go from metal to country?
Yeah.
And it was just, I'm both.
Yeah.
Much like Texas. I mean, it's everywhere. Country and heavy metal. You got Pantera and then all those Texan greats down there. Yeah. So you're surrounded by that. You're going to get that by osmosis for sure.
Is this your first time as a solo artist opening for someone as heavy as Five Finger Death Punch?
I can tell you this, man. I've opened. This is a funny story. Sidebar here. I opened for Five Finger about 3 or 4 years ago at Rocklahoma. I had a side project called Cane by Nod, and we opened that day, and Five Finger headlined. That's just a fun fact. But as Cody Jinks as my artist, as my songs, our stuff. We've been fortunate. We've played with a couple times with COC.
Nice.
We've played with Black Label Society. We've been very clutch, and obviously you guys are really, really heavy. But we played with some really heavy stuff, and
love it.
It's been awesome. The first time that happened, I reached out to Pepper Keenan about 10 or 11 years ago. I just said, "Hey man, I'm a big fan. I've always been a big fan." So since then, I've met so many guys in the metal world. I did a side project with Mark Morton from Lamb of God last year. That was really, really fun. I've ended up, my wife and I are good friends with Scott Ian and Pearl a Day.
Oh, yeah. Love them.
Pearl and I have toured 3 times together.
Whoa.
Scott's wife.
Love Pearl.
She's a singer. She's awesome.
She really is.
And so the world's just intertwined, man.
Yeah.
And I know that when you throw things out into the universe, and obviously I love my metal, and there's a bunch of great people, and my wife and I've been together almost 30 years, so she was in the metal club days as well, and
That's great.
She'll tell you too that no, I don't speak for her, but she'll tell you that the metal community, the metal crowd is by and large the best. There's no sense of community like that in the country music world.
And really looking forward to getting that community together on this upcoming tour. I mean, what's more fun than a summer concert series with a heavy metal band and country mixed together?
Yeah.
That's a wonderful, just communal vibe that's going to be incredible. I'm really looking forward to getting out there in these sheds, amphitheaters and whatnot, and just having that fun summer vibe. I love that you come from the Dallas area, because some of my favorite tours that we did as far as the hangs were with with Vinnie Paul. Yeah. And man, I would love for us to bring that same vibe. Like Vinnie would have a grill that he would bring out there with him. And once he's off stage, he would be in that parking lot right outside of his bus, always having like a big barbecue. It was incredible. So much fun. So I'm really looking forward to this summer tour. It's going to be awesome.
I'm curious, was COC the first heavy band that you did direct support for?
Yeah, they were. We co-headlined a festival together.
And
they were the first. Yeah, and just to see if it worked, and damn it did.
My second concert I ever went to was Corrosion of Conformity, Soundgarden, and Danzig. Wow. That was the second concert I ever went to. The first one was Cinderella Winger and Bullet Boys. Yeah, it was. Yeah, COC was the opening band. They had Blind out, and I loved that album. That was the first real COC record that I got into. And then it was Soundgarden, who I'd heard of, but I didn't know much about them. I remember I was on drugs when I was at that show, and I watched COC, loved it, started flirting with this girl, and as I'm watching her and talking to her, Soundgarden starts up. I'm like, okay, when's Danzig? And then Chris Cornell, his voice started, and I looked at the girl, I go, hold on a minute, and turned and was just transfixed for the next 45 minutes. I was like, my God, who is this dude looking that pretty with that voice? This lucky human being. And that was me getting into Soundgarden. And then, of course, Danzig crushed with that original lineup from that first solo record. Oh, such a great show.
I'm curious if Cody had the same feeling. I've opened doing stand-up comedy. I've opened for Metallica, the System of a Down, Pantera 2 years ago in Minnesota. And the first really big band was Metallica back in 2001 or 2002. And I'm wondering if you had the same thought I did when you walked out on stage, when you did the shows with COC. Did you hesitate and go, what are we doing?
I kind of had that in the back of my mind, but at the same time, I was thinking, this is so damn cool. I don't care if it flops, I guess, commercially, just because I was having so much fun. Pepper did ask me to come out and sing a song with him that I know very, very well.
Okay.
And I looked over at him with the deer in the headlights look when it was my turn to sing. It just totally froze, and he had to mouth the words to me.
Was that a COC song that you're doing, or a cover?
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely a COC song that I've probably sang a million times.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Which song was that
one? Get up there with him, and I'm like, it's kind of like whenever, the dog chases the car, and then the car stops, and then the dog stops, and the dog's like, what do we do now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You caught the bumper that you were chasing. Yeah.
I would have felt a little more comfortable if I had an instrument to walk out on stage, but as a stand-up comedian saying, you should let me open, and Lars goes, yeah, man, dude, calm down, do a couple 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is you do, and now I'm in the venue, I'm getting ready to go on stage, and all of a sudden it hits me, Jesus, everybody here's on coke. What am I doing? Like, why am I trying to be a part of this?
Yeah.
And then that's when
for the coke, Craig, back then.
Right. No, I think I was already sober then.
Oh, that's right. You got a lot of years on you.
But right before I walked on stage, that's when I decided, you know what? I'm just going to tell the audience, my name's Craig. I'm the band's tour manager. And that just got them to listen.
Right.
And then I said, the band has some important announcements. And then I just made up a bunch of bullshit and added jokes in between the announcements. And they all listened and laughed. And I lied to them. I tricked them. Yeah. And by the way, Sobriety, man, the one thing I wanted to ask Cody about, and I'm hoping to God this doesn't become an awkward conversation if this didn't age well, but I had read that you are sober. Are you still sober?
I have not had anything to drink in almost 30 months.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Now,
Beautiful.
Thank God.
Now, I am California sober.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So you still,
But yes, I have what the professionals identified as a drinking problem.
okay. Well, you are
with the
talking.
long A, drinking problem. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, you are talking to two people who are in recovery. Chris, over 4 years.
Yep.
And myself, 21 years. What was that moment where, how did that get to the point where you realized this is not helping?
I was probably 38 or 39 when that moment hit me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was 42 by the time I was able to finally get that out.
Beautiful. Stuck with it.
Yeah, I went on a I kind of looked to what I know Randy Blight from Lamb. I don't know him. I know of him. I know Mark, but I know that Randy quit drinking in the middle of a tour.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Zach Wilde did something similar to that as well. And we, quite frankly, we were in the middle of a tour. And if I went to rehab, there was going to be a lot of people laid off for the year. And I couldn't do that. And I didn't really feel like I had any other choices. So it was either just stop or go to rehab and have to lay a lot of crew off for the rest of the year that didn't have anything lined up. So,
do you remember a specific moment of clarity?
Yeah. The last time I drank was at the Pantera Metallica show in Dallas in August of 2023. And my children saw me fall down drunk.
Ooh, that'll do it.
I woke up the next day and I looked at my wife and I said, I'm done. And I did.
Love it.
Wow. And even with smoking, you don't feel the temptation. I'm assuming you're doing something to help yourself in recovery through a fellowship of some kind. And that is that what's helping you stay sober?
Yeah, I have a lot of addict friends.
Same.
Welcome to heavy metal and country.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of people that are very close to me that have been close to me for a very long time. We have fought the similar battles. So we have our own little groups that we keep in touch and we talk with each other and oftentimes in the bus in the morning. I'm on a sober bus.
Beautiful.
So we get up in the morning and we'll pray or read the Bible and talk about all the stupid shit we did and how we don't do that shit anymore. And
absolutely,
just try to. It's a good group of dudes that have been in the music business for a long time, and my guys, my band, and my crew are my friends, and I have my best friends that I grew up with. Fortunately, still, like a handful, but I have some close people in the music business that we've gone through a lot together, and we hold each other accountable.
And were you a religious dude before getting sober, or is that something that you found in your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, people say they're born again Christians and things like that. I'm not that. Jesus went everywhere with me. Every bar I was in, every time I was the good time guy. Like I never wavered with my faith.
Yeah.
I just took Jesus on all the roller coaster rides with me, and I guess he just figured I'd get my shit together every now and any time soon now. And I've been fortunate. I'm glad I'm still alive, and I'm didn't destroy my marriage and my relationship with my kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would always struggle in early recovery with like, well, do I have to have a religious aspect to it? And I just realized you don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a religious aspect to it. And I still don't. I don't know how I feel about religion. I go back and forth in my feelings. Sometimes I feel like strongly one way and strongly the other. And I'm always telling people who are struggling, if your fear is that it has to be about religion, it doesn't.
Right.
You just the most important thing is taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And stopping a destructive lifestyle that's hurting people around you.
Absolutely. With me, the whole spirituality thing is I'm a universe guy. I always talk about the universe and whatnot. I also know that what I call the universe, everyone else is calling God. I just listen to too much Deicide. I'm holding on to that stuff.
Cody, did you have the same fear that so many creative people have of, man, if I stop drinking, I'm not going to be able to write and perform?
Especially doing like the heartbreaking country stuff, like using that alcohol to get in that place where you're like, man, life is hard. This is rough.
Yeah, I think that crosses everybody's mind.
Yep.
I was, I'm a big George Jones fan, and I remember a George Jones interview where he said, I remember thinking I couldn't get by without it, because you have to learn how to do everything for the first time again. When you're 43 and you're walking on stage sober for the first time, you're literally taking your first grown-up plane ride sober.
Wow.
You're learning how to do everything all over again. That's a weird thing.
Wow.
And it's you guys have been through that.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of baby steps, first steps, you know.
My first sober show was down in Phoenix, Arizona. I'd gotten sober months before that, I think, and went and drove my motorcycle as like a cleansing down to Phoenix for that show. It's just like, all right, I got to be by myself. I got to go on this journey. Let's go get down there. And Phoenix is where I had some pretty solid partying experiences back in the day. So this was very much new paint on old walls.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if either of you guys can relate to this. At the end of my partying days, I remember doing a show once in Tacoma where the crowd was really rowdy and I couldn't get them on my side. They were just, I couldn't tame that audience. They were just too drunk and too wild. I walked off stage and another comedian buddy was standing on the side of the stage, and I was like newly sober. I'd only been sober for 6 months, 7 months at the time. And I said, man, I hate to say this, but I was drinking tonight, I would have killed up there. And he said, what makes you think that? And I said, because when I drink, I'm fun and everybody loves me. And my shows are just like, it's like party shows. And my buddy goes, dude, you are awful on stage when you drink. And I said, what? It was a huge, and he goes, dude, when you drink, you take way too long to get to the punchlines.
Mm-hmm.
You talk and I was like, you're kidding. And thank God somebody who was close to me loved me enough to tell me that. Did either of you two guys ever have moments in your life? You have?
There we go.
Uh-huh.
Cody, what was that moment that shocked you to hear from somebody who actually knew what was going on?
Oh, those moments when that's why our bass player, band leader Josh, started putting a talkback mic on the stage because back before I quit drinking, I'd get up there and I'd get off on some. I mean, it wasn't ever really. I never really got bad or offensive or political or anything. I would just start telling stories and just ramble.
Yeah.
And Josh would get the talk back and be like, hey, dude. All right, I'll wrap this up, guys. I got to sing a song.
Yeah.
Oh, that is hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, that's also must be a Texan thing too, because I remember back in the day, Phil Anselmo would go on some long rants back in the day. And I was just like, oh, as a crowd member, I'm sitting out there thinking, man, play the song.
Oh, dude, I still to this day remember Pantera direct support on Ozfest at I think it's called Great Woods. It's now, I don't know what it's called now, outside of Boston, near Providence, Rhode Island. And Phil Anselmo, I'm in the fifth row. And Phil Anselmo got the mic and he goes, hey, you tell your friends who fucking missed out on Ozfest, you tell them, hey, you missed out. And then he realized he repeated himself and he goes, and you're stupid. And I saw 4 rows of people in front of me go look at each other like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, but yeah.
Play walk.
Yeah. That's just alcohol, man. That is just alcohol. Wow, man. Yeah, it's a scary thing at first. There's moments in your life when, and if you relate to this, you know what I'm talking about, that alcohol or drugs get in your way and you don't know how to manage it. But not doing those things are scary because like, how do I live life and do all these things? Like, am I funny on stage without that? Am I creative without that? I don't know. And you realize, yes, you're actually, everything is better when you take those elements out. I have to believe that once you started publicly talking about this, that you have people who privately reach out to you to say, "Hey, man, you inspired me."
A lot, yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
And just kind of to hit what on what you said, you're thinking, you know, how am I doing? Am I better? Am I worse? Am I this? Am I that? You know, the feedback that I received from just from the band was like my voice cleared up.
Oh, wow.
Was, you know, that, and I didn't feel like I was trying to sing better or harder or differently or whatever, but for whatever reason, and I understand that alcohol seizes you. I love you. My wife's going to get some breakfast.
See your wife. See your wife.
See you, wife.
See you out there soon.
Yeah. But yeah, it's you know, things change, man.
Yeah. And like, as far as things changing, I don't know if you found the same thing, but in sobriety, just the level of truth that you have with yourself, with others, I found that in my songwriting and was able to like have it be a therapeutic purge. And instead of just trying to be aggressive all the time, I still got elements of being aggressive, but real life experience that I was putting into those songs to kind of purge it through that. So I was becoming even more open and honest with myself and allowing that to come through the lyrics.
So, Chris, what can Cody expect when he goes on tour with your band and your fans specifically?
It's going to be a very, very supportive, loud crowd. Thankfully, lots of people. Big support out of all the fans that we've got. They're always looking to find out who we're bringing out with us. So they're going to know your songs out there. They're going to be listening to you. And like I said, it's going to be a very big communal vibe. And personally, really, really, really looking forward to it, particularly with all the balded, bearded brotherhood out there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir. Woo.
Yeah. It's thin. I got a bologna size. My daughter said a piece of bologna size bald spot, circular.
Yep.
Up here in the back, and the rest of it's very, very gray these days.
My dad actually, when I first shaved my head, I had long blonde hair. It was thin and up top, looked like trash, but I was holding on to it. And I remember watching some video or like a show of some older heavy metal dudes, and they had the thin hair. It was receding. And I remember telling my dad, I was like, man, like, why are they holding on to it? Like, if it's slipping, just cut it. And my dad, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but he just goes, look it up at the top of my head. I was like,
oh, really?
It's me.
Ooh.
It's me. Yep. And then yep. That was my moment of clarity in regards to it's time to shave this.
I always like to ask this question to people who tour a lot like I do and like you guys do, but I'm looking at Cody. I don't even know if this question is going to apply because it doesn't look like he's got any meat on his bones, but do you have like a worst food that you just like, oh man, there's nothing else. I'm going to eat this crap food that you feel bad for eating on the road?
Well, you know, I'm in pretty good shape now. I need to be at about 155 where I'm at. Okay. I've been up to 180.
Oh,
and,
all right.
That's pretty chunky on my frame.
Yeah.
But as far as we try to do much better than we did. Most of us are in our 40s. We got two guys in the 30s, but the rest are 40s and 50s. And we have a large group. We got 7 of us. But we try to do more fruits, more vegetables, healthier things for catering. You know, there's obviously some things that are not good. I'm a sucker for ice cream. I gotta get my sugar. Yep. I used to get that from my whiskey and my beer. But,
yes.
But I'm a big fan of the frozen Twix bars.
Okay.
Those are a favorite. The Nerds clusters have. Those have become.
You're talking to a sweet guy over there with Craig, for sure.
Yeah,
dude, there was
mandatory writer material.
There we go. I'm gonna put that in my notes real quick. Make sure we get that in there.
We went okay. So Carrot Top lives here in Vegas. Carrot Top's assistant has a big Super Bowl party every year, and when I say Super Bowl party, he told us I have the biggest Super Bowl party, and we were like, okay, whatever. Yeah. And we happened to be in Vegas when he was having the party, and we're like, you know what? Let's go check out the party. And he had a red carpet going through his garage with photographers, with like, you know, background stuff for the photos and stuff. And just the most incredible spread, which included boxes and boxes of candy. And I saw those nerd clusters for the first time. And one of them ended up in my travel bags and unattended for like a year or two.
Yeah.
And one day I'm going through my stuff and I'm getting clothes out for laundry and I see this Nerd Cluster bag and I'm like, oh man, the thing was all crushed. I open it up and it just poured out. It looked like a pound of sugar just poured out, and weird colored sugar too.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is it was until that very second, my go-to favorite candy, because it just clicks with my addictive side.
Oh yeah. Even this past week when we did Green Bay, there was a little bag of like,
in the dressing room.
In the dressing room.
The
And
Nerd
I
Clusters.
see Craig grab the Nerd Clusters.
Did you see what I did?
Put him in his bag over there.
Right.
And then after that, he goes, hey man, I just want to let you know I took the Nerd Clusters and put them in my bag.
No. I said that about the gummy bears. I can't even believe we're getting into this discussion. But I said, dude, I want you to know I took the gummy bears. Did you want some of the gummy bears?
Yeah.
But the Nerd Clusters, I don't know if you noticed, I picked them up out of the catering thing and I placed them over by my bag. And then I sat down and I went, what am I doing? And then I grabbed the Nerd Cluster, I put it back into the catering bowl, and I was like, I shouldn't even be messing with this. Like, yeah. But that's the weird thing when people, Cody just mentioned, I got my sugar from whiskey. I had no idea.
Yeah.
This is how dumb I am as a human being in general. When I quit drinking, Jack and Cokes were my favorite drink.
Mm-hmm.
Jack and Coke and cocaine. Honestly, I would almost recommend it to people if it wasn't so bad for your life. And when I quit,
well, Lemmy lived a long time like
yes,
that.
Absolutely
true,
yeah,
very true, and
it works for some people.
Yeah, and when I quit drinking and quit doing drugs, I was like a week and a half, 2 weeks in, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, I just went,
"Yep,
is CVS open?" And I raced over to CVS and I went through all of their dollar candies and I stocked up with like an insane amount. I was like, I need sugar, and I had no idea what was going on. I mentioned it later to somebody else in recovery, and they were like, "Oh yeah, well, what did you drink?" And I said, "Well, I mean, I was more of a Coke head, but Jack and Cokes." And they said, "Yeah, whiskey is sugar." And I said, "It is." I had no idea.
Yeah, same thing with me. When I got sober, I had a root beer float every single day forever. Yeah, I was like, I quit doing that other stuff. I got to have something bad. I'm holding on to this. And yeah, I think 20 pounds later, I was like, okay, maybe it's time to put away these root beer floats and maybe have them a little more sparingly,
Wow. So when does this tour start?
Mid-July, I believe it is. Yeah, going all through the United States, up into Canada, covering so many places. I think we're out for 3 months solid, with a 2-week break to go back home just for a little bit and right back out there again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Have you toured that extensively up to this point, Cody?
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, when we were much younger men, it's been a long time since we've gone out and done one this long.
Yeah.
I pretty much was on the road because we never had any a record label or anything. So we stayed on the road from basically 07 to when COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go out 4, 5, 6 weeks and come home 2, go out 4, 5, 6 weeks, come home 2.
That's the dream schedule right there.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I would love to do that. You could put me in that touring schedule for the rest of my life and I would be cool with that.
Yeah.
You mentioned something that I've learned about you, that you've done a lot of stuff independently where you put your own ticket sales, your own stuff out there. How long have you been doing that?
He's the Tech Nine of country music out there.
Or it's Louis C.K.?
Yeah.
Minus jerking off in front of the fans. Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, minus that. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. Don't do that to the plants, man. The plants deserve better than that, you know?
Yeah. But you independently.
We've been trying to figure things out, and we still are trying to figure things out. We always want the fans to win. So if we can find not always, sometimes you can do cool things, sometimes you can't, but we're always trying to. You never know unless you ask. And we threw a pop-up show in Dallas in January in a 1,000-seat rock box just for fun. We called it Friends and Family. Charged like $35 to get in just to cover the cost of it. And I love doing stuff like that too. And shit, man, we just love to jam. And I'd still be playing on the front porch, I guess, if I wasn't doing it for a living.
I was just going to say, it sounds like you're enjoying what you're doing.
Absolutely. And in regards to ticket sales, doing my research, I saw that you have sold 5 million tickets collectively over the years. So that's a hell of a out of the back of the trunk operation you got going there.
Yeah, that we've been fortunate, and I'll tell you honestly, man. I ride on the shoulders of people that most of them have been with me a long time and have fortunately shared my vision of how I want to do things as an artist, and how I treat my people. Most of my people have been with me office people in double-digit years, band people in double-digit years, crew people in double-digit years. So we're a family, and my success is because of them. So as long as we keep things in perspective, we're going to keep doing that.
Absolutely. And speaking of riding too, with this summer tour, do you ride motorcycles as well?
I did for years and years. I had a Harley Softail until my daughter was born, and she's 16. And my wife rode with me all the time.
Yeah.
And when she found out she was pregnant with our first, she said, when the kids are out of the house, I'll ride with you again. So I haven't been on a motorcycle. It's probably been about 5 years since I've been on a bike.
Okay. Yep. I'm hoping that I can bring my Indian out on the road. And I'm trying to get Charlie to get a bike as well, that with the rhythm section on days off can put that bike pull it out from the trailer behind the bus and get out there and ride on the roads. We did that back on the Mayhem Festival years ago, and had so much fun riding. It was wonderful.
I'm curious if, because Cody says I treat my band well, I treat my crew well, and I'm just curious, were there any experiences that you had that were influencing the way you're treating people now because of experiences you had previously?
Yeah. I got to meet Dime.
Oh, okay.
On a few occasions, and we weren't friends or anything like that. So quash any of that type of stuff. Like I was a kid. I was young.
Yeah. Right.
But seeing the way that guy treated his fans, that was next level to me, because he was always great to his fans. And when I was a kid, I was a big wrestling fan. And when I was 16, I met Jake the Snake Roberts in a gas station in Gainesville, Texas.
Whoa.
And he told me that if I gave him my address, he would send me an autographed picture, and he did.
Whoa.
Love that.
And so I've met people that, as they say, don't meet your heroes, but I would rather meet them, because I've found that more people have been really, really awesome, and watching how people treat their fans and striving to do that, because we depended on that more than anything else, because we never had any sort of support. It was always, we spent time with them after the shows, before the shows. They're the best. I tell people oftentimes that in the metal world, this will make sense to you guys, that like, we're kind of like country Slayer. Our fans are like country music Slayer fans. And their Slayer fans are the type of fans that, like, they'll be at another concert that's not Slayer and be yelling Slayer.
Yeah.
Every time. Yeah. A lot of the time, that's me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the same thing with your fans, is that they're...
Yeah, they're really like that, man. They're really, 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 really hardcore.
Wow, I love that.
And it's just because of the way we built things. We were on the road touring for 10 years before anybody knew who we were. You know, I was 37 before I was on a tour bus.
Really? So does it still trip you out to be able to afford things when you're on tour?
Yeah. My wife and I both grew up not, probably what you would consider lower middle class to
same
to borderline barely getting by. So we still buy, old habits die hard. We still buy Wallmart brand, but
same.
But but fly first class. So I don't know. It's funny.
Dude, I still have that thing where it's like, if I can save money, there's friends of mine who give me a hard time. Like, why are you driving for 20 minutes looking for free parking? Because I know where the free parking is. Give me a minute to find this thing. And then they'll go, but you're walking into a steakhouse where you're going to pay for dinner. And I said, that's how much that costs.
That's why.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how much that costs. In order to have that great meal, it's going to cost that much. I accept that. but I don't have to pay $30 for parking. Give me a few minutes. I'll figure this out.
Yeah, that story reminds me of a lot of Brantley Gilbert, who we went out with several years ago. He's got a song called Redneck with a Rolex.
Okay.
I think it is. Yeah. So shopping at Walmart, hanging out in first class. That's the juxtaposition of where we find ourselves these days. Still got those Southern roots, still shopping at Walmart and yep.
Yeah. You
enjoying the comforts.
You can't, what's my wife say? You can't take the poor out of the kid or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a weird thing. When I started making money doing stand-up, I remember early on, and I would carry cash on me. I remember telling the girl that I was dating, I could take us to dinner, and at dinner, the check would come, and I'd take out the money, and I'd go, babe, I am this funny. I would have the money in my hand. This is how funny I am. Like, I couldn't believe I am this funny. And I'm still self-conscious about the fact that on any given night, I can say, let's all go to that place and not worry about it. That's crazy to me still to this day.
It's still in my head too. Like I literally got the gig with Death Punch via text from Zoltan when I was bartending in Las Vegas.
Oh, and tell Cody how you almost fucked it up.
Oh yeah.
He gets a text saying, "Hey man, we would like to invite you to join one of the biggest bands on planet Earth."
Yep.
Chris is and this is how much it pays. Chris's reaction:
how about an extra $250 a week? Yeah. And Zoltan was like, "Oh, well, let me go back to my people and, we're going to throw this around. At the end of the day, it's business. Maybe just business doesn't work and we have to go in a different direction." And then let me sit on it for 2 days. I was having heart palpitations. I was like, I just screwed this up, asking for an extra $250.
And Chris,
what the hell?
And Chris finds out sometime later that on Zoltan's end, when he got the text and saw how about an extra $250, Zoltan looked at everybody around him and went, "This motherfucker."
Yeah,
like,
he goes,
absolutely.
The balls on this dude.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
I love it. Oh, in fact, there's even one point where on a day off, there's going to be a couple of shows that Chris and I are going to do stand-up shows on days off. So if you want to come out to a comedy show, we'd love to have you.
I would love that. I know I've been to the Addison Improv. My wife and I love stand-up.
Nice. Who are some of your favorites?
Well, I'll just give you some of my favorites of all time because my dad was a big Richard Pryor fan.
Same.
So there was a lot of Richard Pryor when I was a kid, though I shouldn't have probably been listening to Richard Pryor. Probably my favorite of all time was Mitch Hedberg.
Oh,
dude, that was my first roommate in New York.
Really?
Yep.
Oh God, dude, we quote Mitch constantly.
Love it.
Still quote that guy constantly because just his wordplay was the only dirty words the guy used was the long fucks between the clean jokes he was telling.
Right.
And I love that guy. There's man, as far Dave Chappelle, I saw Chappelle. He's the last one we saw actually at Dickey's where we're going to be supporting you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Chappelle there a couple of years ago. It's the last one we've been to. But I love Cat Williams accidentally walked onto my tour bus one time.
No way.
What's happening, baby?
Dude, and what was funny about it, he was being picked up in Arlington. My buses were meeting in Arlington, and he walks onto my bus. And he walks on, actually it was my band bus. And so he walks on the band bus and he sits down and my driver walks in and he's like, he looks at him. He goes, "Hey, where?" He goes, "This is a nice bus. Where my liquor at?" and he goes, "Who are you?" He goes, "Are you my driver?" He goes, "I had some liquor ordered." And, anyway, he's like, "I think you're on the wrong bus." Anyway, they got to BS, and he's like, "Dude, you're on a country singer's bus, like we're in Texas." He's like, and Cat, he said Cat thought it was the funniest thing. So I got there right after that. Cat had just left, and Cat's probably my favorite right now. And I was like, "You got to be kidding me, really?"
Wow, dude, I actually have. When you say that Mitch never cursed, that is true. I do have a story. We're doing but they're doing a documentary about Mitch for Netflix that I'm doing an interview for here in a couple of weeks. And one of the stories I'm excited to share with them was this one night we were at an open mic in Seattle. This was sometime in the mid 90s, and Mitch went up to the open mic and did it proper. He tried a bunch of new material. I think he did a couple of stand-up like things he had prepared, and then he brought out a legal pad. It was like a yellow legal pad thing, and he goes, all right, I got a couple different jokes. And it was just this yellow piece of paper.
Mhm.
And he goes, he tries the first joke, kind of sails off to the left, tries the second joke, it sails off to the right, doesn't really connect. And then some drunk girl in the back of the crowd yelled out, try the back of the paper. And Mitch was almost startled by her yelling. And he goes, flips it over. Oh, yeah. The back of the paper says, tell that cunt in the corner to shut the fuck up. And the place went, yeah! And everybody cheered. And I was like, whoa. I've never seen Mitch like curse. I've never seen him get mad. I was like, whoa. But yeah, Mitch was one of the sweetest, kindest people. And I always say he was one of the most well put together people I've ever met in my life. He just had one flaw, and that one flaw ended up killing him. But yeah, man, Mitch, I want to tell you this quick Mitch story about, I think you'll appreciate this. The first day I moved in with him, I was trying to get my bearings straight because Mitch was going to leave me alone in the apartment while he went to go do some shows in the Poconos that weekend. So I'm going to be completely alone in this apartment in New York. So he's giving me the keys. This is the key for this door. This is the key for this door. He's pointing to one side of the apartment. This is where the red line is. This is where the yellow line is. And at one point, he walks up to the front door and goes, oh, hey, Craig, this is a map of the New York City subway. And on the back of his front door was this giant map of the MTA subway system. And the first time you look at it, it's very confusing.
Oh, yeah.
There's red, blue, yellow lines going in every direction. And I look at it for half a second and he goes, that's how that works. And he walked away and I was like, the fuck? That wasn't an explanation. Like, but yeah, I've definitely got some Mitch stories for you when I see you out there. And, and
I would love to hear them. Yeah, that's I love your world. If actually I was there's a country singer named Wade Bowen here from Texas, and we play fantasy football together, and the loser last year had to do 5 minutes of stand-up.
Ooh, no.
And the toilet bowl to determine the loser came down to him or me.
Whoa.
And we were the only two singers in the thing, and it was going to be one of us losing. He ended up losing, so he just roasted me. Yeah, and it was so funny, man, and I love that stuff. So yeah, it's really difficult because if anybody understands what stand-up comics go through, it's probably a guy that sat on a bar stool with just an acoustic guitar in a honky-tonk bar, for 4 hours trying to keep drunk rednecks entertained. You come up with some pretty good material for that shit.
Oh, it's the pain. It's so humbling. And it's continuously humbling all the way through. Like one of my favorite lines by Chappelle is, and I don't know what this gig is that he's referencing, but apparently there was some gig, I believe in Detroit, and he said there was an article written that I was booed off the stage in Detroit. That is not true. I was booed. I did not leave. That is the greatest. Yeah. Every comedian knows what that experience is like, man. You have those moments, but yeah, man. Yeah. Well, Cody, thanks for spending time with us, man. I love hearing anyone tell the story about realizing that they didn't to make changes in their life. And also, I think it's really beautiful that you just told your wife, I love you. She's walking out to breakfast and that you guys have been married for over 30 years.
Yep.
So
love seeing that family vibe and that togetherness and that support, not only from all the fans, but from the wife as well. She's had to go through this whole journey with you as well and has been there the whole time. So it's wonderful to have. You got to pick your partners wisely.
And also, I love these.
She's excited too. My kid and my son's 13. He plays guitar and he's a metalhead. So,
is he?
So yeah, he's super excited. He's looking at some dates where he comes out. He jumps on the bus with me and for a week or so at a time, and we have a lot of fun doing that. But my family's they'll be out and my wife's a metalhead too. I think I've probably taken her to more metal shows than I have country shows.
Very nice. And like growing up, Pantera was your band. You were listening to that. What's your son listening to these days? What's he coming up with?
Oh, his numero uno is Slipknot.
Whoa!
Yeah, it is Slipknot all the way. I'd say his second is probably Megadeth. He got to meet Mustaine. Actually, the show we played with you guys years ago at Rocklahoma, Megadeth, and then you guys. And so we have a lot of Metallica versus Megadeth conversations, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Corey lives right down the street from this studio where we're at right now.
Yeah,
So
he's in Vegas. Yeah.
he's in Vegas. So if you ever want to have me take your kid to go annoy Corey, we could do that.
We are playing here. The tour is coming here to Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right.
So that's a perfect opportunity. Hey, Corey,
Oh, yeah.
sending out the invite. You and Alicia come out.
Yeah.
Meet Cody's
That would
son.
be super cool.
There we go.
My son just got to meet Phil as well when Pantera came through. So
that's cool.
It's fun being able to share that with your kids.
Absolutely.
Well, it's going to be an exciting tour. Where do people find you online? Where would you like to direct people to?
Please go to codyjinks.com and all the socials, the Instagram and the TikTok and the Facebook, and we're all over the place. And so we're ramping up for a really, really big year for out supporting Five Finger Death Punch, and we're stoked. It's going to be a great year. We're working on new music as well. We go in and start recording our new record in February. So a lot happening, man. It's going to be huge.
Well, there's a lot of people who love you, and they're going to be coming to the shows to support you as well. So it's going to be a fun tour with a lot of these fans getting together to support all this different music, and it's all going to be great and fun and a great festive vibe. So CodyJinks.com, is that what it was?
That is, yes.
CodyJinks.com. Jinks, Jinks. CodyJinks.com. Cody, thanks for making time for us this morning when you had your wife in the room with you that you should have been spending more time with.
And on his way to Hawaii right now.
Oh,
yeah.
We are. She's actually, I was talking about her. She just walked back in and she smiled real big because I was talking about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't stopped the whole time. Yep. It has been a full interview about his wife this entire time.
Yep.
Just singing her praises.
45th birthday.
What? Happy birthday.
Yeah.
So where in Hawaii are you going?
We're going to Oahu. We're actually going out. We have a place. We have a place out there. So
beautiful.
I worked last night. I played the rodeo here in San Diego, and so we're gonna go out and actually while I'm out there, I'm gonna write with some military veterans for a cause called Operation Song.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh man, right on. Well, enjoy your time in Hawaii. We'll see you on the road with Five Finger Death Punch. And CodyJinks.com is where you get more information about Cody, who's been kicking ass. And I love the story, man. Thanks for spending time with us, Cody.
Thank you, Cody.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Congratulations to your Seahawks.
Oh, man.
I'm a Sam Darnold fan.
From the Vikings or from what period of his career?
Well, I mean, like from the Jets.
Oh, my God. That's a real fan.
Because he signed a jersey for me. He's a fan of ours.
Oh, beautiful.
And
no way.
years ago, I knew one of the linemen for the Jets. He's now with the Patriots, but they played together, and Sam signed a jersey for me, Jets jersey, and I still have it. So,
you know what? If they make it to the Super Bowl, Chris and I are going to the Super Bowl, and we're going to be interviewing the players at the Super Bowl. So if the Seahawks can beat the Rams, fingers crossed, we will bring your name up to Sam Darnold 100%. At the Super Bowl and ask him about you. So.
And invite him to the shows this summer.
Absolutely.
Five Finger Death Punch, Cody Jinks.
Oh, my God.
Under Fire.
Dude, I cannot believe I didn't even see this. This is my chance to be friends with Sam Darnold. Yeah. Yes. We can get Sam Darnold. Look, I'll tell him that. And listen, I just need you to back me up. Cody Jinks is one of my best friends ever. I can introduce you to Cody if you want. I've even talked to his wife in a roundabout way. If you ever want to meet Cody Jinks, I can take you. I can tell you that he loves COC. I'm just going to bring up like every fact I've learned in this.
Exactly. Well, you're not going to get a sticky. You're going to get a real laminate for the show.
Yes,
I can hook you up. Craig Gass can hook you up.
Yeah, I will hook you. And all of my Cody Jinks information is going to be followed by, can we play catch? I just want to play catch with you. I just want to play. Can we just throw a football out in the parking lot and play catch? I just want to play catch with you.
We'll be playing catch backstage at this upcoming tour. You can get tickets at fivefingerdeathpunch.com. Go to CodyJinks.com. And we will see you out there this summer. Looking forward to it.
Cody, you are cool as shit. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Love you, brother. We'll see you soon.
All right,
later.
Guys.